A marathon takes hard work, determination, and endurance. An ultramarathon takes that and more. A normal marathon is 42 kilometers long. Anything after that is considered an ultramarathon. Ultramarathons aren't ran on the road, but instead take the runner through the twists and turns of nature.
And so when I say it, they say, oh, do you do something? I say, yeah, I run long distances. They say, oh, marathons. And I say, well, actually, I run ultramarathons, and in particular, trail ultramarathons. And they don't know what I'm talking about. So when I explain to them what it is, their general reaction is exactly what you would expect. They think I'm completely crazy.
6 days a week, English professor Andrew Titus can be found running, rain or shine. It all started 2 years ago when a friend told him 3 words. Yes, you can.
And I was out running with a friend of mine, and we were running on very technical single-track trail through the woods. And I happened to say to him, are there any races where we can race on things like this? And he said, absolutely, there's all kinds of them. And he said to me, you should come and run one. There's one coming up, and it was the following October in Nova Scotia. And I asked him how long it was, and he said, oh, it's right around about 30 kilometers. And I said, I can't do it. And he said, yes, you can.
The preparation, in theory, is simple. It takes practice, practice, and more practice. Titus finds time to run while still having time for his teaching as well as his wife and kids. The 43-year-old is constantly running, no matter what's going on outside.
That means running before the sun comes up in the morning. It means running after the sun goes down at night. It means running in the pouring rain and in the blistering heat and in the middle of a snowstorm. No matter what, you just keep going. Nothing stops me from running. Zero.
Titus finds one of the more difficult parts of training is back-to-backs. He goes for a long run one day, and then the next day he runs even longer. This gives him experience for running tired, something sure to happen while on an ultramarathon. Andrew Titus has run 5 ultramarathons so far. The first part he doesn't find too difficult, as long as he doesn't try to go too fast. This can result in burnout later. He finds the hardest part is around the 40-kilometer mark. Where most marathons would be almost done, his test has just begun.
Like, that's where the body starts to go, we're not doing this anymore. We're not having it. This is no fun. This isn't. You start to say to yourself, you're never going to make it. What kind of fool are you? This is ridiculous. Like, what kind of idiot runs all day long? And you need to contend with those sort of demonic voices in your head that are telling you that what is the point of this? And as you push through those, that's really the limit where you find that that's what we're doing in this thing. Life, as far as I'm concerned, is an endurance test. And the ultramarathon is a ritualized form of that test.
In his first ultramarathon, he came in first. He claims it had nothing to do with him physically. He spent 20 years of his life as a heavy smoker and is now in his 40s. In his opinion, anyone can do it. It just takes determination. He remembers a time during one of his ultramarathons where he was struggling, but was able to fight through.
I was about 5 kilometers into it. Everything was coming apart. I had 15 kilometers left to go, and all of a sudden this thought just crossed my mind, and I was like, I have 15K left to go. I was like, man, I run 15K 6 times a week. Let's just drop the hammer and let it go. And so I ended up doing my last loop faster than I had done the one before it. And it's those kinds of things that make you realize that maybe it's not all that crazy. If I can go for like 6 or 7 hours and all of a sudden find new reserves of energy and new power supplies, then what does that tell me about the rest of my life? When I think that I'm at the end of my rope, I'm actually not.
For Titus, this is a perfect example of how ultramarathons help him, not just physically, but spiritually. He doesn't run for his health. He does it for the love of running and being one with nature.
I think that we spend a lot of our time talking about how we need to be healthy physically, but I think that we need to focus as well on being healthy mentally and spiritually and emotionally. And to me, nothing does that like learning how to run all day long.